with the ongoing looting in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng, and we'll be joined now by Masters of Arts degree in Conflict, Security and Development at the School of Global Studies at Sussex University. We're joined by Ziyanda Stuurman. Ziyanda, good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Yes, Ziyanda, obviously the words, and I'm just looking at your qualification, a Masters of Arts degree in Conflict, Security and Development. Now, all these, we are in a conflict situation. We are in a state of anarchy in this country at this point in time, where we also, at the same time, we look at security that has been compromised. And the key issue here is development and how this has actually impacted or affected development in the country. And just putting the entire saga that has been playing out, the ongoing looting in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng, all these areas are absolutely critical, and this has been impacted.
Absolutely, and this, really sort of shows just how connected, the idea of a sort of failing economy and years of lost economic development, especially, has led us to a situation where, so many people in the country could have been and were incited to violence and to looting and to chaos because of the fact that they feel so disconnected from both our economy and society. And this is exactly where we are right now. What started off as factionalism within the ANC in terms of the Zuma camp or faction versus the Ramaphosa faction has really grown into something much, much larger.
Yes, and in fact, last night I did a detailed panel discussion on this, and what came out very, very strongly, Ziyanda, is what we see happening on the ground, what we see happening with the masses is a mirror image of what has been playing out within the ruling party.
Absolutely, that is 100% correct. We all seem to be sort of caught up in the inner battles and inner workings of the ANC, and that's bled out into our larger society. But particularly in a way where it almost feels like, we, the people, are being weaponized against each other by these sort of, conflicting groups.
Yes. Now, for far too long, we've seen a scenario evolving where we've seen the elite versus the poor. And this obviously gives us a clear indication that the poor in this country have been failed. We've seen the role of government, and until now, the role of government has been about telling people about the difficulties, telling people about the problems that we are faced with in the country, poverties, food shortages, food security, joblessness. But the key issue here is there has been no concerted effort in solving any of the problems over the years, and now the bubble has actually burst.
I agree with that. I really don't like to use the analogy of a sort of ticking time bomb that some people have used over the past couple of days, because I think what that does is ignores the fact that, the sort of idea of a ticking time bomb didn't happen on its own. It's happened through years of corruption and maladministration, of government services. It's happened through years of service delivery protests, where communities have said over and over and over again that we are being failed and we are being left behind. It's happened through years of youth unemployment, for example, and young people especially not having access to education or economic opportunities. So none of this has happened overnight. None of our problems are new, and I think it's incredibly disingenuous, of anyone in government who wants to act surprised or who sort of says that they didn't see any of this coming.
Now, just looking at where we are at this point in time, Ziyanda, and to move forward, and clearly this is going to impact on the country, it's going to impact on the development of the country, it's going to impact on any confidence in the country. In fact, I've just read an article this morning with regard to South Africa and tourism, and for the fact that how much we've relied on tourism, and this is actually going to set us back from an investment perspective, and also as far as the country is concerned, the confidence in this country. So it's going to take us a very, very long time if we ever recover from what has happened in the last week or so.
Yeah, I think that we've really seen sort of irreparable damage. Not just to not irreparable damage, but very severe and significant damage both to our reputation, outwards in the world, but also in sort of feelings of mistrust and distrust of each other. I think, those feelings that were already sort of bubbling under the surface for a long time. And I think that unfortunately this has made it worse. And we're seeing it in the way that blockades have popped up, in a lot of communities that are trying to protect themselves, but at the same time, I think are expressing that sort of deep distrust, of strangers and of people that they don't know. And that to me is very concerning for the sort of long-term stability of our society when we feel like we genuinely can't trust each other, but also that we need to almost be so incredibly defensive, of anybody we don't know.
Well, the thing is, we are seeing obviously this polarization featuring very, very prominently and very quickly, I think, to repair this damage, polarization, because this is something that this country cannot afford. We've always taken pride, Ziyanda, in the fact that we are a nation, we are a rainbow nation. Together, we will overcome whatever challenges we have in the country. But a situation like this has sadly resulted in this polarization. And the key question here is damage control. How do we repair the damage that has already been done?
I think that exactly what you're saying is a really sort of good reminder to all of us, to look past, again, these sort of factional battles, and to look past, political parties or sort of other groups that would try and pit us against each other. At the end of the day, I don't see the solution necessarily coming from partisan politics of saying, I'm with this party and this is the right way to go, or I'm with that party, this is the right way to go. I think the only thing that's really going to save us as a country is ourselves and each other. And that if we try and fragment and break apart, I fear the situation could become worse. And this is really the time for us to come together and say, united as a country, we stand against violence and looting and these destructive politics that have brought us to where we are.
Well, we've seen from certain areas where, we've seen this unity coming through. And also in the last few days, we've seen even the taxi industry come out. We've seen them, obviously, motorcades in various towns and taking a stand against looting, against all the anarchy that is taking place. So, there is still some hope, Ziyanda, and it doesn't appear as if all is lost at this point in time.
I agree 100% with that. And I think that that's also important for people to understand that where, the police and the military have been overwhelmed and they haven't been able to respond, it's really truly been, again, ordinary citizens coming together and saying, we won't watch this happen in our community. We won't allow this to happen in our community. We won't let thriving businesses be destroyed. And that's exactly the type of civic pride and trust in our own communities that we need at this point in time, and really to reject, those who would try to divide us.
Well, Ziyanda, thank you very much for that and for your time with us this morning here on News and Views on Salam Media. We wish you all the best. We wish you safety, and please take care.
Thank you very much.
Ziyanda Stuurman, a Master of Arts degree in Conflict, Security and Development at School of Global Studies at Sussex University, with us this morning. We're going to go for a quick break. We come back and we are talking Hajj. We're talking about Hajj inspiration as we enter these days of Hajj this weekend, and we'll be joined by Maulana Ubaidullah Boja.
A strip of land with over 2 million people blockaded for 13 years. Healthcare is on its knees, food is scarce, and water is inadequate. COVID has wreaked havoc in the lives of the people of Gaza. 53% of the population live below the poverty line. 80% of Gaza relies on external aid to survive, and 20,000 children are now orphans. The future is bleak. Please, don't forget Gaza. Donate now to Islamic Relief.
Looking to get your kick? Kiki's have now reopened on 235 Matthews Maiwa Road in Durban. Head on over for the Taste with Kick. We offer something scrumptious for everyone in the family. Wraps, chicken tikka, burgers, tender grills, mocktails, milkshakes, and so much more. Corporate and events catering available. Visit our social media pages for more info or call 031 209 0119. Kiki's, the Taste with Kick.
Don't be sheepish. Kurbani with Penny Appeal. Affordable and rewardable. For just 700 Rand in Africa, Gaza 3,500 Rand, South Africa and Yemen 2,000 Rand. You can reap the rewards of your sacrifice. Go on and do your bit to banish poverty. Only the best animals, 100% reliable and guaranteed notice of your Kurbani done. Call 031 1100 573 or visit www.pennyappeal.org.za to book your Kurbani today. WhatsApp 081 407 2753 for more information. Trust us to deliver your sacrifice where needed most, allowing you to reap the rewards of this blessed act.